about is titled as Decoding Viksit Bharat. I would request everybody to settle down. Check the schedule if you got it. I would like to invite on stage Mr. Tuhin Sinha ji, Aditya Pitti ji, and they are going to be in conversation with Brigadier Sanjay Agrawal ji. Zordar taliyan ek baar hamare guests और authors के लिए please. I'll request them to please take their seats onto the stage.
And I request the members of the audience to please be seated. Our first session is about to begin soon.
I think one of the guests have left their mobiles on the stage. Our volunteers will get the mobile to them. I request the gentlemen to please take their seats and would request everybody who is curious about what decoding Viksit Bharat looks like to stay back. आप चाहें तो आगे आके बैठ सकते हैं. यहाँ पे seats भी खाली हैं. हमारे साथ जो senior members हैं, seats हम उनके लिए vacant रखेंगे and रुक जाएंगे, बैठ जाएंगे आराम से.
Hello.
Check. Sound check one. Great. So Viksit Bharat, everybody, is not just about economic growth. It's about vision, governance, national character, and long-term thinking. This session decodes the idea beyond headlines and into the intent. Let me briefly introduce you to our speakers for this very first session of the Bhopal Literature and Art Festival. We are delighted to have Mr. Tuhin Sinha with us. तालियों से उनका स्वागत करेंगे. Everybody please, a round of applause. Tuhin Sinha ji is a sharp political commentator and thinker who understands how ideology, policy, and public sentiment intersect. His voice represents clarity, conviction, and contemporary political understanding. We are also elated to have Aditya Pitti ji with us. उनके लिए भी जोरदार तालियां. He brings a strategic and entrepreneurial lens to the national development. His engagement in policy innovations and future leadership adds a forward-looking dimension to the conversation. And as the moderator for this session, we are delighted to have Brigadier Sanjay Agrawal ji with us. He has been speaking on Viksit Bharat as the keynote speaker at various events in the run-up to the 2023 G20 summit in New Delhi, and thereafter at various events in the India International Center and universities. Last month, his article, Bharat ki Raksha Tayari aur Atmanirbharta, was published, and his military background brings discipline, realism, and a grounded national perspective to the discussion. Over to you, gentlemen.
थैंक यू सिद्धार्थ. सभी दर्शकों को एक बार फिर हम सब की तरफ से आमंत्रण. धन्यवाद. मेरे पुराने 1970 के स्कूल के मित्र भी यहाँ आए हुए हैं. मैं गर्वान्वित महसूस हो रहा हूँ, कर रहा हूँ. बिना समय गंवाए यथाशीघ्र हम इन दोनों महानुभावों से बात करेंगे. श्री तुहिन सिन्हा जी की फ़्लाइट है, गाड़ी में सामान रखा है, सेशन पूरा नहीं कर पाएंगे, तुरंत चले जाएंगे. तो आगे की बातें मैं इनके प्रस्थान के बाद, इनके जाने के बाद करूँगा. सिर्फ इतना कह दूँ कि आपने जिस श्रेणी की किताबें लिखी हैं वो अत्यंत भिन्न हैं. कहीं तो 3 किताबें लिख दी अनसंग फ्रीडम फाइटर्स, बिरसा मुंडा जैसे लोगों की. कहीं किताब लिख दी क्लाइमेट एक्शन फॉर इंडिया, और यहाँ किताब लिख दी द नॉर्थ ईस्ट स्टोरी ऑफ इंडिया कि क्या वहाँ पे बदलाव और सुझाव आए हैं पिछले दशक में. और एक एक किताब, जो कि यह आखिरी किताब इन्होंने अमित पिट्टी जी के साथ लिखी है, सॉरी आदित्य पिट्टी जी के साथ लिखी है, बिल्कुल उसमें तथ्य भरे हैं, डेटा भरा है. बस इतना ही बोलते हुए मैं आपसे निवेदन करूंगा कि आप विकसित भारत के विषय में कुछ बताएं, उसके जो आपकी किताब में है, और उसके आगे फिर हम सवाल करेंगे। और आपको मौका देना, हर साल मेरा एक प्रथम मुद्दा रहता है कि ऑडियंस जो बैठी है उसको प्रश्न पूछने का अवसर हमेशा प्राप्त हो, वो होगा। श्री तुहिन जी।
धन्यवाद संजय जी। सबसे पहले तो राघव जी और उनकी पूरी टीम का के प्रति मैं आभार प्रकट करना चाहता हूँ। हर वर्ष भोपाल लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल मेरे ख्याल से इस देश के बुद्धिजीवियों के कैलेंडर में अंकित हो चुका है, और मैं खुद, ये मेरा दूसरा ट्रिप है भोपाल। मैं 2023 में आया था बिरसा मुंडा पुस्तक के साथ, और अब आ रहा हूँ। देखिए, विकसित भारत जो है वो एक भावना है, वो एक विश्वास है। विकसित भारत का अर्थ समृद्ध भारत से है, सशक्त भारत से है, स्थिर भारत से है और आत्मनिर्भर भारत से है। तो पिछले कई वर्षों में, विशेषकर 2020 के उपरांत, जब कोविड का प्रहार पूरे विश्व में हुआ था, तो भारत अगले 25 वर्षों की नीति को अंजाम देने में जुटा था। तो ये अंतर था, जहाँ की बहुत बड़ी जो अर्थव्यवस्थाएं हैं वो ठप हो रही थी, भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था ने वहाँ से एक नई उछाल पाई। अब नॉर्थ ईस्ट इसलिए महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है कि अब जब भव्य लक्ष्य हमने रखे हैं, आर्थिक लक्ष्य रखे हैं 2047 के लिए, संभवतः 30 से 35 ट्रिलियन डॉलर इकोनॉमी की होने की कल्पना हम कर रहे हैं। टियर 1 सिटीज, टियर 2 सिटीज, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल टियर 1 सिटीज आर एग्जॉस्टेड। टियर 2 सिटीज भी बहुत जल्दी एग्जॉस्ट होने वाले हैं। तो अब ये दारोमदार ऐसे इलाकों पर आने वाला है जो अभी तक इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी के दायरे से बाहर थी, और नॉर्थ ईस्ट उसमें एक बहुत अहम पड़ाव, एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करने वाला है। यही नहीं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट जो है वो सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। भारत का कुल इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर लगभग 15,000 किलोमीटर का है, जिसमें 5,100 किलोमीटर का बॉर्डर, इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर, केवल नॉर्थ ईस्ट के 8 राज्यों का है। अर्थात 1/3 ऑफ इंडियाज इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर्स आर फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न, आर बिलोंग टू द नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न स्टेट्स। और चूंकि आप सर आर्म्ड फोर्सेस में रहे हैं, आपने देखा है कि जिसको कहते हैं our northeastern states have suffered because of the tyranny of distance. Now we have reversed it to the reassurance of proximity. That's a massive difference. So when you talk of Arunachal Pradesh, for average Indians, northeast used to, end at Guwahati. For some more, it used to expand till Itanagar. Now imagine development coming right up to the easternmost fringe of Arunachal Pradesh, which must be a good 500 to 600 kilometers at least from Itanagar. तो जो सरकारी कर्मचारियों को मीटिंग्स के लिए ईटानगर में आने के लिए ही 30-35 घंटे लगते थे, अब बहुत सारे वहाँ पे लोकल एयरवेज, अब बहुत सारे तो नहीं लेकिन हेलीपैड जगह जगह पे हैं. देयर आर लोकल एयरलाइंस व्हिच आर फ्लाइंग. दे कम डाउन टू ईटानगर in a matter of 3 hours. So that is the big difference which is unfolding in every part of the Northeast. जहाँ 8 एयरपोर्ट थे वहाँ 17 एयरपोर्ट है. 5 लाख करोड़ का कैपेक्स एक्सपेंडिचर केवल पिछले 11 वर्षों में हुआ है. और उसका अंजाम ये है, उसका परिणाम ये है कि केवल एक राज्य मणिपुर, जहाँ की कुछ समय तक हिंसा हुई, उसको छोड़कर जो बाकी 7 राज्य हैं वहाँ पूरी तरह से खुशहाली, समृद्धि देखने को मिली है. असम इज गोइंग टू बी वन ऑफ द 2 state leaders of India's semiconductor revolution. Assam, which used to be known for, in your time for the Alpha insurgency and for the Nelly massacre, in the next few years, its surge as a semiconductor manufacturing hub will be visible. So these are some of the very important, changes which one has witnessed in Northeast because of the vision of Prime Minister Modi. But since we are living in an age when some people are fantasizing that, you know, जो बांग्लादेश में हुआ वो इंडिया में होना चाहिए, जो नेपाल में हुआ वो इंडिया में होना चाहिए. I think they, because to cover up their own failures, they want Gen Z to you know, take to the streets. मैं आपको थोड़ा सा विषय से अलग हटकर एक एग्जाम्पल बताता हूँ जेन ज़ी के साथ, जो मेरी एक वार्ता कैब में हुई थी. बिकॉज आई अटेंड अ लॉट ऑफ सेशंस. अक्टूबर एंड में एक मैंने इसी तरह से एक भाषण दिया था ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी पे, द रोल ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी इन इंडियाज फ्यूचर. एंड 2 days आफ्टर दैट, आफ्टर you know some party gathering, I took a cab late in the night in Delhi. और मैं किसी को बता रहा था कि उस इवेंट में 2 दिन पहले जो हुआ था ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी में ये पोटेंशियल इंडिया का. द कैब ड्राइवर वॉज लिसनिंग वेरी इंटेंटली. तो मुझे भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा था इसकी जिज्ञासा इस विषय में कैसे हो सकती है. जब 15 मिनट बाद मैं अपने मुकाम
गंतव्य पे पहुंचे. हाँ.
तो ड्राइवर मुझे कहता है, सर आप ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात कर रहे थे ना. मैंने कहा हाँ, मेरा एक AI स्टार्टअप है. मैंने कहा आपका AI स्टार्टअप है? हाँ, तो फिर आप ड्राइव क्यों कर रहे हैं? तो वो वहाँ से सैलरी नहीं ले सकता हूँ ना, इसलिए रात को 4-6 घंटे में ड्राइव कर लेता हूँ, तो बर्डन उस पर नहीं होता, स्टार्टअप पे नहीं होता. ये हमारी जेन ज़ी है. कुछ लोग जो कल्पना कर रहे हैं कि चिकन नेक कॉरिडोर को तोड़ सकते हैं जेन ज़ी का सहारा लेकर, उनको ये पता होना चाहिए कि हमारी जेन ज़ी कितनी मेहनती, कितनी निष्ठावान है और विकसित भारत की यात्रा में कितना बड़ा रोल निभा रही है.
बहुत सही. आपने अरुणाचल की बात की, आपने आसाम की बात की, और जैसे मैंने बोला मैं आदित्य पिट्टी जी के बाद में आऊँगा. ये देखिए कि उसके, और मणिपुर की आपने बात की, नागालैंड, त्रिपुरा, मेघालय. व्हाट अबाउट दी कल्चरल इंटीग्रेशन, जो इन भिन्न इलाकों के सांस्कृतिक धाराएं हैं उनको भारतीय धारा में मिलाना विकसित भारत के लिए कितना महत्वपूर्ण है, और यदि है तो क्या किया जा रहा है?
इसमें बहुत कुछ ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, आपको महसूस करना होगा. देखिए, जब मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ता था 95 to 98, एक सर्टेन स्लैंग होता था नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोगों के लिए. अक्सर जब कोई झगड़ा होता था, एक सर्टेन स्लैंग शब्द होता था जो लोग यूज़ करते थे. आज आप खुद घूम कर देखिए, वो उस शब्द का यूजेज लगभग समाप्त हो चुका है. क्यों हुआ है? बिकॉज लोगों ने स्वीकार किया है कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट के जो लोग हैं वो भी उतने ही इंडियन हैं, शायद उससे भी ज़्यादा इंडियन है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे प्रहार, बहुत सारे अटैक्स उन्होंने भारत के लिए पूरी काफ़ी मजबूती के साथ फेस किया है,
झेले हैं, और भारत के लिए ढाल बन के खड़े हुए हैं. आपको मैं याद दिला दूं कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश की भाषा क्या है?
हिंदी. मैं
आश्चर्य होगा कुछ लोगों को कि उनकी भाषा हिंदी है, ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज. और मणिपुर, नागालैंड जैसे प्रदेशों की जो हमारे स्पोर्ट्स कॉन्टिंजेंट्स जाते हैं ओलंपिक्स में, प्रभुत्व है उनका. जी.
इनफैक्ट पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में जिन लोगों ने नॉर्थ ईस्ट विजिट नहीं किया है, आप हैरान हो जाएंगे जिस फ्लुएंसी के साथ वो लोग हिंदी में बोलते हैं. हो सकता है उच्चारण थोड़ा अलग हो, but that is how our, you know, cultures are anyway intersected. रुक्मणी जी का विवाह, आज जब प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी अलग अलग क्षेत्रों को कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो आज एक पर्व मनाया जाता है अप्रैल के महीने में, जब अरुणाचल से लोग बारात लेकर आते हैं गुजरात. क्योंकि रुक्मिणी वॉज द प्रिंसेस, you know, belong to her kingdom was one of the kingdoms in present day Arunachal. So this is how Chintragada is from Manipur. So this is how we are anyway. We have been always connected culturally. नागालैंड में एक फेस्टिवल मनाया जाता है, मैं नाम भूल रहा हूँ, दिसंबर में 10 दिन जो मनाया जाता है,
हॉर्नबिल फेस्टिवल होता है, कोहिमा में होता है.
I was just forgetting the name.
हॉर्नबिल.
आज अगर आप दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट पर नवंबर एंड दिसंबर फर्स्ट वीक में जाएं, आप देखिए कितनी बड़ी संख्या में पीपल हु आर नॉट फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ ईस्ट आर ट्रैवलिंग टू Hornbill just to attend that festival. So I think this is the cultural.
Somebody here had answered Hornbill. Who were those 2 people? 1. Second, there was someone more. You were the one. You are from the army background, but a clap for this lady over here who knew about the Hornbill Festival. Thank you.
संजय
But
जी,
you know, एक चीज मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, आप दोनों विकसित भारत के पक्ष में बोलेंगे और मैं पहले से पक्ष में बोलता था, लेकिन आज क्योंकि ये दोनों पक्ष में बोलेंगे, मुझे किरदार ये अपनाना होगा that I function as the devil's advocate, as the gadfly, और मैं इनसे कुछ कठिन सवाल करूं. पहला सवाल जी आदित्य
I
जी.
just wanted to add one thing
Yeah.
to what Tuhinji said. You know, this cultural integration of Northeast we saw in ourselves while researching the book. Honorable Prime Minister has led by example. He has visited the Northeast more than 70 times, 70 times. All Union Cabinet Ministers are supposed to visit regularly. Cumulatively, I think they've visited more than 800 times, if I'm not mistaken. You know, that has made a huge difference.
नहीं, हम सब विकसित भारत के पक्ष में बोलने वाले लोग हैं. इनफैक्ट राघव जी का भी बहुत बड़ा रोल है विकसित भारत में, क्योंकि जब वो NHAI के चेयरमैन थे, मेरे ख्याल से जो आज 35 किलोमीटर के रोड बन रहे हैं पर डे, उसका नींव उनके समय में रखा गया था. तो रोड निर्माण से बड़ी सेवा तो हो नहीं सकती है देश को
Absolutely.
जोड़ने के लिए.
देखिए, अब ये मुझे बताइए, हम विकसित भारत की लंबी चौड़ी बातें करते हैं, आंकड़े देते हैं और एक सुनहरा चित्र पेंट करते हैं, ग्रैंड सेंट्रल डिजाइन्स, सेलेक्टिव आउटपुट्स, पर ग्राउंड रियलिटी क्या है? कहीं दूषित पानी पी के लोग मर रहे हैं, और ये आपके घर के नज़दीक है, मध्य प्रदेश की बात कर रहा हूँ. उधर करप्शन से हम मारे जा रहे हैं, किसी आम आदमी से किसी भी क्षेत्र में पूछ लीजिए. तो एक अलग ही पिक्चर मिलती है. अगर आप भारत की आलोचना करने चलें तो आलोचना के भी कई तथ्य ऐसे मिलते हैं कि सर झुक जाता है. क्या कहना है आपको इसके बारे में?
देखिए, हमारी एक 3 टियर सिस्टम ऑफ गवर्नेंस है. जो 3rd टियर है लोकल गवर्नमेंट की, जो म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशंस हैं, जो रूरल कॉरपोरेशंस हैं, वहाँ मुझे लगता है कि अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बहुत आवश्यकता अभी भी है. और निश्चित रूप से ये 3rd टियर में ये सारे सिविक इश्यूज जो हैं वो 3rd टियर ऑफ गवर्नेंस में आते हैं. तो इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. आई थिंक दिस इज़ नॉट अ पार्टी स्पेसिफिक विषय. अक्रॉस कंट्रीज इट इज़ वेरी सैड, अक्रॉस द कंट्री इन सेवरल स्टेट्स वी हैव डिस्कवर्ड दैट नॉन ड्रिंकेबल वाटर have been coming in taps. I think it is a matter of concern and local
देखिए,
bodies
आपने
need to
पार्टी स्पेसिफिक बात नहीं है कि बात की. जब मैं आदित्य जी से बात कर रहा था, इन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बात बोली थी कि जब इन्होंने अपनी 750 पेज की मोटी किताब, जिसके कि 40 पेज आखिरी के केवल साइटेशंस के हैं, जब लिखी, तो इन्होंने मुझे बताया कि मैं विकसित भारत के इस पहल को पार्टी से नहीं जोड़ता हूँ, देश से जोड़ता हूँ. मुझे ये बात बहुत पसंद आई. तो पार्टी की तो बात अलग है, पीएमओ से जोड़ लीजिए, गवर्नेंस से जोड़ लीजिए कि ये हो रहा है. लेकिन सवाल फिर भी ये है,
ये जेन जी से
जुड़ा है, लेकिन फिर भी सवाल ये है कि जो हम कह रहे हैं और जो ज़मीनी हालत है, सुधार जरूर है, दिशा जरूर सही है, लेकिन जेन जी को इंस्टेंट ग्रेटिफिकेशन की भी आदत है कि यहाँ स्विगी से ऑर्डर किया और यहाँ से सामान आया. मैं अंडे का भुर्जी बना रही हूँ, अंडे ऑर्डर किए, उतने में आ गई. तो my point is, whether it is corruption, whether it is the federal structure of center-state relations, जब पकड़ा जाता है, चीन में देखिए उन्होंने अपने मंत्री को सजाए मौत देके मौत के घाटी उतार दिया. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि सही है, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि अकाउंटेबिलिटी हैज टू बी एट ऑल लेवल्स. केवल प्रधानमंत्री अकेले नहीं कर सकते, ये सब मानते हैं, लेकिन हमारे देश की कुछ समस्याएं ऐसी जटिल हो रही हैं कि उनको सुलझाते 11 साल तो हो गए. तो जेनजी ये पूछते हैं कि और कितना, हमें तो मैगी 2 मिनट नूडल चाहिए.
There are two or three things I would like to highlight over here. Number one, we should never take the example of China. Number two, there are 5 crore pending cases in our courts of law. So judicial accountability, as we all know, there are 4 pillars of our democracy. Judicial accountability is as important. Unfortunately, it is about time, we need to ask questions if, the necessary holidays, summer holidays and winter holidays in courts, if make any sense. And I think all efforts need to be made to dispense those 5 crore odd cases, because till the time there is closure, most of the cases remain pending.
न्यायपालिका को सुधारने की आवश्यकता है, निसंदेह.
एक important विषय जो आपने कहा, देखिए, निश्चित रूप से Gen Z tends to be impatient. And that impatience is also fueled by the very nature of social media. You know, social media is about instant gratification. It's very difficult to take a nuanced stand on social media because you have to take a stand one way or the other for you to get maximum traction. This is something people also realize. But, you know, Gen Z also needs to realize that India has transformed, and irrespective of which governments have been in the last 20 years. You know, there was a time when we were growing up, trains as a routine would run 4 to 6 hours late. Today, you know, that is not the case. In fact, I was reading a report, 3,000 plus deaths have taken place in Canada because of non-availability of immediate health care. This is not the case with India. India has shown to the world the alacrity, the pace with which we responded to COVID vaccination, the pace at which technology was employed to make vaccination of 2 crore plus doses possible within a span of first 3-4 months. But yes, given the size of the country, given the size of our population, there needs to be far greater accountability at the local government level and across, you know, across the bureaucracy and across the ministries, which is something which is work in progress, which will happen over a period of time.
अब मैं आप लोगों के लिए सवाल आमंत्रित करूं उससे पहले एक आखिरी सवाल पूछ लेता हूं तोहिन जी से। इंडिया इज लूजिंग टैलेंट। हमारे जो खास दिमाग हैं, क्लैरिफाइड बटर, घी, जो टॉप, इसी हफ्ते खबर आई कि फॉर्मर चेयरमैन ऑफ द इंडियन एटॉमिक कमीशन अनिल काकोदे जी, जो कि बिल्कुल कानूनी तरीके से विदेश गए थे, और उनका बैकग्राउंड बता दूं, जहां थोरियम ब्रीडर रिएक्टर फ्यूल की बात होती थी, 75 साल से भारत ने काम किया इस पे, अच्छा काम किया। काकोदी जी इसके मार्गदर्शक, माता पिता सब वही थे, पब्लिक आई में, टेक्निकल आई में। हुआ क्या, 2017 में विदेश में कंपनी बनी, भारत के लोगों के नाम से बनी, भारत से के लोगों ने उसकी फंडिंग किए। नाम और उनके पद नहीं बताऊंगा, नहीं तो पॉलिटिकल बन जाएगा सब कुछ। और बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड ने रिपोर्ट किया था पहले इसको। वी आर लूजिंग टैलेंट। ये व्यक्ति हैं अनिल ककोदे, जो फ्यूल उन्होंने अमेरिका में बना के, अब वो फ्यूल केवल इंडिया के लिए है खास तौर से, उस फ्यूल का नाम है अनिल, उन्हीं के नाम पे। फ्यूल का नाम डॉक्टर अनिल ककोदे के नाम पे है। वी आर लूजिंग टैलेंट। पुराना उदाहरण, कॉमोडोर पॉल राज, नेवी के अफसर जिसने भारत नेवी में रहते सोनार का इन्वेंशन बहुत अच्छा किया। उसके बावजूद भारत ने इन दोनों लोगों को विदेश जाके अपने दिमाग का मीठा फल, जिसकी की मेहनत यहाँ हुई थी, वो फल वहाँ दिया। ही इन्वेंटेड 4G, ही रेवोल्यूशनराइज्ड 4G, पॉल राज। ही गॉट द ग्रेहम बेल अवार्ड and he got that other Macaroni prize, the top prizes in the field of communication. We are losing talent. What do you feel?
Again, there are two aspects again when it comes to losing talent. One, I think a lot of onus is on the individual. What exactly does he want out of life? Because, you know, the sense to serve the country is not there in everybody. That's one part of the problem. Number two, you know, if Indians are moving abroad, beyond the 2 or 3 specific examples that you gave, if Indians are moving abroad and heading important companies, at the end of the day, it's providing India global leadership.
नहीं, तो इनकी सवाल दूसरा है, जिस व्यक्ति ने भारत में अपने दिमागी चमत्कार दिखा दिए, उसको हम बाहर, उसको हम क्यों नहीं लोभित कर रहे हैं कि वो भारत में ही आगे काम करे?
कह रहा हूँ कि जो एग्जाम्पल्स आपने बताए हैं, निश्चित रूप से उनकी कला का, उनके कंट्रीब्यूशन का कदर होना चाहिए था। लेकिन beyond that, I'm saying it's a phenomena. People are moving out, you know, to a large extent that has to do with individual choices. But if you look at it, also there was a time when Britishers would be found, French would be found across the globe heading important corporations, you know, holding important positions. Today, Indians are doing that. So I don't think it is entirely a negative thing, but yes, if somebody is moving out of the country out of frustration, that is something we need to look into, and that is something we need to introspect. There is no doubt about that.
अब आप दर्शकों के जो सवाल हैं, आप हाथ खड़ा करेंगे, ये माइक दीजिए उनको। Somebody, Come quickly, come. Who's the next? Anybody wants to ask a question? There. Second one is there. Okay.
नमस्कार।
Third one, anyone?
आपने विकसित भारत की संकल्पना की बात की है जिसमें नॉर्थ ईस्ट का एक अहम रोल बताया कि वो निभाएगा, लेकिन अभी हाल ही में पिछले महीने दिल्ली में एक नॉर्थ ईस्ट का ही बच्चा था जिसकी पिटाई हुई और उसने अपनी जान गंवा दी हॉस्पिटल में। तो हाँ, मतलब देहरादून, दिल्ली, ये जो घटनाएं होती हैं, जो रेसिज्म होता है, सिर्फ नॉर्थ ईस्ट को ही छोड़, मतलब नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अलावा साउथ इंडियन लोगों के साथ भी, उसको आप
देखिए,
किस तरह से देखते
ये
हैं?
एक अपवाद है। बिहारियों को की भी पिटाई होती है मुंबई में, और उसकी भी उतनी निंदा होनी चाहिए। ये एक अपवाद है। भारत में कहीं पर भी क्षेत्रवाद और एक नकारात्मक प्रकार के क्षेत्रवाद की कोई जगह नहीं है।
लेकिन ये बाधा तो बन रहा है ना,
तो लॉ एंड
Civic
ऑर्डर का
sense पे
सिचुएशन
सवाल उठते हैं।
है। जिस तरह चोरी हम नहीं रोक पा रहे हैं, ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं। इसका उपचार यही है कि कड़ी से कड़ी एक फास्ट ट्रैक प्रोसेस से सजा दिलाई जाए कल्प्रिट को।
माइक पहले ही पकड़ा दिया करें ताकि समय का नष्ट न हो।
हेलो,
Please let it go to the person who's asked. After that, ma'am.
नमस्कार सबको, और मेरा नाम उदय सिन्हा है और मैं भोपाल से ही हूँ। मैं थोड़ी देर से आ पाया, लेकिन एक इस पर्सपेक्टिव में एक क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में पहले से था कि इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ और इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट जो इंडिया का हुआ है उसमें बहुत डिस्पैरिटी है। ग्रोथ तो न्यूमेरिकल हो सकता है कि इतने % से हम हर साल मान लीजिए कि ग्रो करते चले गए, लेकिन डेवलपमेंट मेरा ख्याल है कि बहुत बड़े कॉस्ट पर आया है, जो कि इकोलॉजिकल इम्बैलेंस को पूरी तरह से हम लोगों ने ये कर दिया। तो डेवलपमेंट जो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट है जिसमें इंक्लूसिविटी ऑफ द इंटायर सोसाइटी होती है कि वेलफेयर के साथ सबका जो है सो इंडेक्स, लाइफ इंडेक्स जो है सो ऊपर आए, तो वो ग्रोथ बहुत ही टेपिड रही है। तो मेरा ख्याल है कि आपके पास ज़रूर एक आइडिया होगा कि आप बता सकें कि डेवलपमेंट जो है बहुत ज़रूरी है, नॉट एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ नेचर एंड इकोलॉजी। उसके लिए
आपका प्रश्न क्या है?
प्रश्न ये है कि डेवलपमेंट के लिए आपके पास क्या रूम है इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट?
धन्यवाद। माइक मैडम को दीजिए इधर, जब तक यहाँ से जवाब आता है।
देखिए, जो आप कह रहे हैं, आपको पिछले हफ्ते भी अगर आपने फॉलो किया हो, एक मिसकंसेप्शन फैलाया गया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट की रूलिंग को लेके अरावली हिल के संदर्भ में। ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, कुछ चीज़ों को प्रॉपर रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस के दायरे में लाया गया है। वहाँ इलीगल माइनिंग जो है 2007 से लगभग हो रही थी, जिसको अब समाप्त किया गया है। दूसरा, 2-3 और एग्जाम्पल्स मैं आपको देता हूँ। मैं जमशेदपुर में बड़ा हुआ था और आज भी मैं कनेक्टेड हूँ, जाता रहता हूँ। वहाँ एक दालभूमगढ़ एयरपोर्ट बनने का प्रस्ताव है, जो कि शहर से 50-60 किलोमीटर दूर है। अब उसमें फाउंडेशन स्टोन भी रखा जा चुका है 2019 में, लेकिन अब तक काम क्यों नहीं शुरू हुआ, आपको पता है? क्योंकि एक सर्टेन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉरिडोर है जिसको वो इम्पैक्ट कर सका है। केवल एनवायरनमेंट मिनिस्ट्री ने उसको रोक रखा है। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि अंधाधुंध डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है। हर जगह एनवायरनमेंट कंसर्न्स को नज़रअंदाज नहीं किया जा रहा है, बल्कि उनको ध्यान में रखा जा रहा है। और भी 2-3 एग्जाम्पल्स मैं दे सकता हूँ। अब जैसे ग्रेट निकोबार आइलैंड जो है अभी डेवलप हो रहा है। अब उसमें even before the plan has been formulated, the usual suspects have come out saying we are destroying the ecology, but that is not the case. I have written, comprehensive articles on that. All attempts will be made to protect the ecology and the natural habitat, but at the same time, how exactly do you decongest cities? How exactly do you decongest clutters if you don't look for alternative options? अगर आपके पास कोई ऐसा solution है जो सरकार को अब तक नहीं समझ में आया है, तो निश्चित रूप से we will be very happy to be enlightened with that.
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to add, at a macro level, we are the only major economy in the world meeting our Paris climate goals. Most of the large central infrastructure projects, environment sustainability is a major part. India has achieved now 50% energy production from renewable means, 250 gigawatts, 5 years ahead of target. Also, if you see our per metric ton of emission is today at about 1.9 metric tons of CO2 versus a global average of 4.8. And in fact, the developed countries are much further ahead in, emission. All these, Western countries achieved rapid development and industrialization without any concern to the environment. After achieving a certain level, now they are giving a bit of gyan to other countries. But India, this has been part of our developmental agenda and strategy right from day one.
Thank you, Aditya ji. Madam.
Hello and good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
My country is moving towards 100 years of independence, 2047. And there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of talk about Viksit Bharat. I came to hear you speak about Viksit Bharat. Now, there are two questions that I want to ask. Number one, they pertain to health and Northeast. As far as health is concerned, you spoke about COVID and how we tackled it. My question, how do you explain the deaths of young people? It's happening all over. People are just dying without any reason. I don't know why it's happening.
Can I
Number
answer this
one,
before you
can
move on to the next
I?
question?
Health. Number two, you said that you spoke about Canada, and you said that health treatment is not available. People are dying. Please look at India. Newspapers are full of it. I will only stop at that. Number two, Northeast. You spoke about how Northeast is being integrated, supposedly by the government. How do you explain Manipur?
Okay, number one, the Canada report, I was basically referring to a certain report which was published in a newspaper recently about 3,000 people dying in Canada for want of urgent medical attention. I think you may have seen that report. If you have not seen the report, if you may share it with her, ma'am. If you share your email ID, he will maybe share that news report with you. The second part was about there was one more question about the health part. Yeah, एक और question था health. Yeah. The COVID deaths, yes, but I hope you would realize that when you collate India's situation vis-a-vis other countries, there were two basic parameters: the prevalence of COVID per 1 million population, the prevalence of COVID per 1 million population of every country, and the deaths per million. If you take both of those parameters into consideration, India's performance was among the most credible, even in terms of providing. So, but anyway, there are sensationalist stories. Even we were very aghast by what happened in Delhi over a period of 2.5 weeks. But I think what was contained in 2.5 to 3 weeks, we have seen other countries deal with it for a much longer period of time. The question about Manipur, while nobody can defend what happened over a period of a few months in 2023 specifically, which went on for a small phase in 2024, you would also need to realize that the trigger for this was a judgment by the Manipur High Court. It had nothing to do with the government over there. Number two, if you look at the legacy of violence over there, had it been the same UPA government, what you see in Manipur, a lot of turbulence would have happened in other states. That has been the legacy we inherited. I'm not here to compare these, but I think we need to be a little more realistic in pouncing on the government.
Next question, please. After that, volunteers, please give the mic to this gentleman. That's the last that Tuhinji can do. His flight will get totally missed otherwise. Yes. Yeah. Second last question.
Namaskar. I am an Indian-American journalist. My name is Jasleen Khanuja. I represent a channel called Yo India TV. I'm from San Francisco, and I have flown specially to meet you, Tuhinji, for the BLF 2025. So 2026, of course, we are in the new year. Sorry about that. My questions are in two parts. First, that I'm very impressed with the romantic novels and thrillers that you have penned down.
24 of them.
No, not 2 4 or 5 of them.
So the edge of power, the edge of desire, let the reason be love. India inspires redefining the politics of deliverance.
There is a move. I'm sure many of you may have seen the movie Kabhi Kabhi, right? So when Amitabh suddenly metamorphoses into somebody else and says वो कवि कोई और था तो वो author कोई और था. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. So, how did you transform into a politician?
Well, this is a discussion about Viksit Bharat. So let me just say that we are all inspired to contribute a bit to politics. I think many professionals, I think a good percentage of professionals beyond their professional responsibilities aspire to do something in politics, aspire to do something for the country, and a few are lucky to get that opportunity. So I just feel humbled that I'm able to be here and contribute to the vision of Viksit Bharat.
बिल्कुल. तो हम सभी को गर्व है विकसित भारत
Thank you so
की
much.
हमारी योजनाओं पे और मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम सब ने इतना विकास किया है.
And I
लेकिन
hope
हाल
India
ही
is
में
able to sign, the trade deal with US sometime soon. If you have your influence over there, you must.
Yeah, I did cover Howdy Modi, but situation
Yeah,
was
maybe have the
different at
quick
that time.
question because he has to.
Yeah, I'm wrapping up. So my question would be like,
So
as we see a growth in the tariffs that Donald Trump has imposed, and it's
So the good part is
and
that
it's
despite that, the projected GDP growth for the next year, for the current year, is going to be 7.4%.
Yes.
So I think that shows the resilience of the Indian economy, and that shows
Kindly
that
take the mic and pass
Indian
it on.
economy is far from the dead economy which President Trump may have imagined and which our leader of opposition may have been quick to pounce at. So I'm afraid I'll have to take your leave. मेरी flight 4:45 बजे की थी, but Indigo और मुझे जाना है भुवनेश्वर, तो उसकी direct flight भी नहीं थी और वो flight reschedule होकर 2:45 बजे हो गई. तो मैं
But sir,
क्षमा
we'll still
चाहता
have your
हूँ.
question immediately after that.
मैं क्षमा
Quickly,
चाहता
Noida.
हूँ. Bhopal is a lovely city and you guys are lovely. The organizers have done a commendable job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, Tuhin ji.
We can't let you go without the BLF memento, Tuhin Sinha ji.
और विकसित भारत के बारे में आदित्य पिट्टी जी आपसे और डिटेल शेयर करेंगे बिकॉज इन्होंने एक बहुत अच्छी किताब लिखी है विकसित भारत. सो ही इज एन एनसाइक्लोपीडिया ऑन विकसित भारत.
Thank you, Tuhin ji.
Yes.
Viksit Bharat 2047, written by Aditya Pitti ji. Tuhin ji's previous book on the Northeast was also co-authored by him. And I told you about the data-based, evidence-based thing. He's an engineer by profession. And I won't take away from his thunder, but some of the things when I was talking to him, he took Viksit Bharat as a vision statement and mission statement for India. This is what you informally told me. Yes. I liked it. If all of us do it this way, there is no doubt that we will do well. Secondly, he said, being an engineer, I find it better to face the criticism when I tell my story based with data. I loved it. And Professor Salvatore Baboon was here. He's another man who speaks a lot in data. So without going into those things, over to you, Aditya ji.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Also, Raghav ji, for organizing this wonderful festival. It's my first time in Bhopal, and I'm looking forward to coming back again. As Sanjay ji said, Honorable Prime Minister used the word Viksit Bharat, I think, sometime in 2023. And for me, it was a light bulb moment because I thought it's a vision and mission statement for the country. I'm from a corporate business background in Pune, and corporates have these vision and missions. So I viewed it as that. And then over the course of a couple of years, this word has been used repeatedly, and we got more and more insights about what is exactly Viksit Bharat. I myself got involved in this mission and ran a few programs for them. And this question kept cropping up that exactly what is Viksit Bharat? So I thought that, through a book, can I first unbundle what is Viksit Bharat? Secondly, can we tell a narrative not based on my opinion or somebody else's opinion? Can we, tell a full story with data? So I approached it as a thesis. That's why we have extensive reference citations. And the third and fourth main point why I wrote this book, why I'm here today and taking efforts to publicize the message in the book, is because I firmly believe that this is a collective mission. It's a collective mission for all of us as citizens of the country. Because if we all do something for nation building, it may be the smallest thing, as small as following traffic rules, not jumping the red light. You don't always need a traffic policeman there to police you or enforce this. That, I think, is nation building. And fourthly, I firmly believe that we as citizens must get this self-confidence and belief that, things are happening in India or will happen. I firmly believe that this confidence will get us to these targets. I've used a term in the book called everything is possible confidence. And I truly believe that this is also very important to get us to the targets. So this is a little about my book, Sanjay ji.
So one of the things in your book is talks about that the Western model of development uses metrics. The Indian model of development now in vogue goes beyond those metrics and is much more holistic. Please elaborate.
Sure. So this is another reason why I got attracted to our definition of Viksit Bharat. So Viksit Bharat, literal translation is developed India. But most of the definitions of a developed country come from the Western world, primarily from the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, IMF, which define a developed country based on a per capita income. Today, approximately 15,000 US dollars, 1.5. But I think what Honorable Prime Minister tried to say is that our mission and our vision of a developed country is much beyond these economic metrics. It's a more holistic model where, we will obviously hit these targets, but also strive to reduce income inequality, where we can have citizens access world-class health services, education, infrastructure. There are less regional disparities. We do this while protecting the environment in a sustainable manner. So this, I think our vision is very interesting and very different from the Western model. Also fundamentally encapsulated in this is the concept of Antyodaya, which literally means, the upliftment of the last man. And there is a great push to ensure that, government benefit schemes percolate down to, all sections of society and literally to the last man. So this is the definition of Viksit Bharat, which I have also tried to elaborate in the book.
So when I was talking and Tuhinji was responding, Aditi ji could not because of the paucity of time. So what are your views on this challenge, all-pervasive challenge, A, of corruption, and B, of a slanted narrative? The opposition would slant it, agreed. The government also is accused. Example, we have been talking a lot of the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, because I also go on TV, so I keep my data on both sides of the argument. Here the data says that a very large number of these account numbers were 8 times 1, which means nothing. They were fictitious, there was KYC weaknesses, and the CAG report on this is worth reading, 20 of 25, of 2025. What do you have to say on the corruption issue and on this selling the grand narrative well, but the ground being weak?
Sanjay ji, on the corruption point, what Tuhinji mentioned as well, there is no getting away that it exists. However, what I am seeing, I run multiple businesses in Pune and elsewhere. I think what the government has done very well is to make the structural reforms, whether it's GST, GST 2.0, income tax rules, etc. As a corporate person, I see that, the touch points with the government have more or less gone away, if not gone away completely. One doesn't have factory inspectors, excise inspectors, all of these coming into your factories, income tax, all of that. So I think one great works that's happened is these structural reforms. Now, where the average citizen finds corruption is what I call at the retail level, which Tuhinji
Okay.
tried to say the three structure of government. And this is something that, has to be tackled for sure, because that's where the friction lies with the common citizen. And for this, the government has initiated what they are calling process reforms.
So
As you
where is
also
the
know-
prosecution of anything below a JE?
Sorry?
Where is the prosecution of levels of responsibility above the lowest level?
Dekhiye, what's happening is they are going line by line into most of our rules, regulations, where the subjectivity lies. Lot of this subjectivity is there in our regulations. Not only are they convoluted, lot of the subjectivity was introduced by design. It's not random. The reason it was introduced by design is so that there is subjectivity, so that you would need to meet an officer, and this is by design, which has to be cleaned out line by line. That is for sure. I'm just giving a few examples. Again, I'll go back to income tax, because most of the people paying income tax. Now what has happened, not only is it faceless, nameless, so no officer is incentivized. If your file is uploaded, your return is uploaded, normally it is passed, and sometimes I've seen refunds come back within a day or two. Even if not, there are complex AI systems checking the files. If there is a red flag, you will get a notice, but it will be from some officer you don't know from which city. You don't know him, he doesn't know you. You're mainly a file number. So this reduces. Secondly, if there is litigation, earlier as it is, we have a problem with cases backlogged in our courts. However, now what the income tax department did, which was very good, is that you can't keep appealing unless the appeal or the amount in question is above certain limits. So for example, if the case in question is below 50 lakh rupees, they can't appeal to High Court. If it's
Agreed.
above a certain level, you have to go to Supreme Court.
Valid,
So this-
agreed. Now tell me, go outside, see a aate ki chakki. 16 certifications from various Janch agencies lage hain. I have posted this and I showed it to Chief Minister Delhi, Rekha Gupta ji. 16. Where is Viksit Bharat happening?
No, for sure, Sanjay ji, this is a huge problem that needs to be tackled, and this is where the urgency lies. I'm again and again saying that the touch points of the common citizen, for whatever he does, either in his daily life, in business, this level has to be tackled. Things have to be eased out, number of regulations, all this convoluted, n number of licenses have to be done away with.
Okay, we will leave this there. My last question before I open it to the House again. I went through the full book and I kept telling you chapter-wise my things on it. Why should they read your book?
So, couple of things, I'll build on what I said in the beginning. The idea is I've tried not to give my opinion. So I hope you read it to get a better understanding of where Bharat is at today. And also in the book I have written, how will we get to our 2047 targets? What is the vision? What is the roadmap? What are the recommendations? So I think this is important to read because it's a mission for all of us. In fact, because of the students here, I keep telling that my message is mainly to you, because not only will you be the principal beneficiary of a developed country of Viksit Bharat, you will be the architects and builders of Viksit Bharat. So in fact, I hope you educate yourself, because in a few years, I want to ask you, what are you doing to make our Bharat Viksit? So honestly, this is the reason. The other thing is also to, get this confidence in what is happening in the country. That is something, if you see throughout, there are a lot of negatives, there is no doubt. But in my, in my vocabulary, I never use the word problems, even in my business, because it instantly drains your energy. I use the word gaps. Who says there aren't gaps or issues? But if it's a gap, we can find a solution and try to fill that. So that is, extremely important. Because in our country, yes, there are problems, but we've lifted 250 million people out of extreme multi-dimensional poverty and also landed on the south pole of the moon. So, we are one of the very few countries who are trying to do
Raise your
multiple
hand.
things at multiple levels. So there's data, there is this, we'll give you an idea of what's happening in Bharat. And I do hope you read it and tomorrow tell me, what is going to happen in Bharat next.
Okay, who all want to ask questions? First is the lady here. Thereafter is the gentleman with the white beard, Abhilash Khandekar ji. After that, the white jacket and the one white jacket ke piche. 4, this young gentleman with his hand raised high, and then this lady with the hand raised, jaise breakfast nahi khaya ho. Itne ke baad we will ask. Chaliye. And it's your job with the volunteers to get the mics quickly to them, huh?
Hello. No, this person also wanted to raise a
Ma'am,
question,
we'll come
so
to
please
them.
give him opportunity. Okay. Hello and good afternoon. And as I said, my country is moving towards a very, very big milestone, 2047, 100 years of independence. So we all are very excited about it. Now, there are two things you said. One is very interesting words, the slanted narrative. Number 2, the touch points for the common man. That's very important. And as you said, it has to be an investment.
Ma'am,
in
could we have
every
your question, please?
Yes. The question is, Mr. Abhilash Khandekar is sitting here. And we recently had a massive tragedy in Indore. It's Viksit, it's a metro area. And the drinking water and people have died. How do you explain that? What is said in Viksit Bharat about water supply in urban areas which are developed? The sewage line.
We got it.
Ma'am, I am aware the headline news of what.
Just a minute, yeah. Okay. Okay, give him the mic because he's the next, I think. You follow the sequence I've indicated. Okay. Yeah, please.
Ma'am, this is I'm also aware of what has happened in Indore, but just like an average citizen, I have followed it to some extent. I live in Pune, Maharashtra. So I have followed it less actively, I would say, than people in Indore or Madhya Pradesh. It's a horrible tragedy, what's happened must be, people who are responsible must be dealt with strictly, all of that. These are a lot of issues at city level. And this is something that, in fact, I stress about a lot in the book, about urban planning, etc. And how this can be translated on the ground, mere just plans and, objectives. A lot of accountability has to come in, and serious accountability.
Yes, please. Next.
So you have partly answered my question. I was about to ask you that urban plans that Maharashtra, they call DP, that is development plans. Now, Bhopal is a city which has no master plan for the last 25 years. Indore is a city which is cleanest but has no master plan for. So, going forward towards 47, what kind of urban planning is required because urbanization is going to be very fast in the coming days. So, what is the solution that you suggest in this book?
Shift the mic to the next speaker.
I meet people in Maharashtra for sure. I think the problem is that we are always playing catch up. When the plans are made, they are plans being made looking at today's problem, today's gap. And by the time they are executed, today's gap has already widened. You can't do anything unless you're looking 15, 20 years ahead, the timeline, and planning for that. So I think the full thing is this big mismatch between timelines. What we are planning for, when they get executed.
And permanently
and then
catching
that,
up.
Yeah. So we're always
catching
playing, permanent catch-up. India has shown what can be done by forward-looking more in terms of technology rather than hard infrastructure, because that has allowed us to leapfrog. We immediately went to 5G. We are working on 6G. Good stuff now is happening on the semiconductor mission, quantum, all of that, AI. So in technology, we've shown this mindset of looking far ahead, planning and, going after that. This has to be done on infrastructure. However, as a counter, Khandekarji, as you know, the central schemes have been good. Our large infrastructure projects, airports, highways, etc., those expressways, etc., they are moving ahead fast. But this urban infrastructure continues to remain a big problem.
Now, smart cities.
Similar fate. One has to, plan these things now looking much further ahead. Some of the plans I have seen again are very short to medium term, but they have to be long term.
So there were people who raised their hands there, and when the mic is going, they are looking down. So this guy is confused. So we will straight away come here to this student and to this young lady there. Now come here first because we've got 2 minutes left.
आई थिंक इट वुड बी सीमलेस अगर जितनी देर में मारा उतनी देर में मैं क्वेश्चन ही पूछ लूँ सर.
I beg your pardon?
आई थिंक इट वुड बी सीमलेस अगर मैं उतनी देर में क्वेश्चन पूछ लूँ.
हाँ, it's after you because the mic is now be with you. So after you.
Yes.
जिसकी लाठी
so-
उसकी भैंस.
वेरी वेल. सो आई हैव टू क्वेश्चंस. फर्स्ट बीइंग आप विकसित भारत की बात करते हैं बट जब हम ग्लोबल स्टैंडर्ड्स पे देखें तो इंडिया की जितनी डिपेंडेंसी है बाकी देशों पे, जैसे आप देखते हैं इंडिया एक नेट इंपोर्टर है, तो ये डिपेंडेंसी कहीं ना कहीं एक रेस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है विकसित भारत के लिए. एंड द सेकंड क्वेश्चन वुड बी, सिंस आप इनकम टैक्स की बात कर रहे थे सर, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट बाकी देश जहाँ जो ऑलरेडी जिनको डेवलप्ड नेशंस कहते हैं वहाँ पे पीपल पे इनकम टैक्स, वहाँ पे दे गेट द फैसिलिटीज. इंडिया में वी आर पेइंग फॉर हेल्थ केयर बट उसके बाद भी हम प्राइवेट हेल्थ केयर के लिए पैसे
So
दे रहे हैं.
anything specific thereafter?
No, the two questions. First
Got it.
is international
Got it. Thank you.
dependency and second is the income.
देखिए, in fact, I personally feel I'd written one article on this. Our international dependency
Now
is
raise your hand.
fairly low as compared to other major economies. That has allowed us to, face these global headwinds and be resilient. That's why we are showing the growth rates. Relatively, I'm using the word, is less. Our energy dependence is there for sure. But, active steps are being taken, whether it was with ethanol blending, more gas finds, Bay of Bengal, etc. And also this huge push for renewable energy. Right now, as you know, a new bill has been passed called Shanti, which is to develop private nuclear power plants. So, government is well aware and sees that one of the big things is energy dependency and how do we quickly get away from that, both from a terms of strategic needs as well as for our, forex preservation.
Yeah, next question there. And I'll request the volunteer. This lady, please raise your hand. Recognize this so that you get there. They have been raising their hand for the last 6 attempts. This gentleman and this lady. I mean, let's have certain, after that.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Harihar from Sagar Public School, Saket Nagar. So you talked of development that India will achieve till 2047. So how do you, in amidst all this development turmoil, expect to conserve regional cultures while integrating them in urban lifestyles?
Could you say your question again, please?
How do you, in amidst all this development turmoil, expect to conserve regional cultures while integrating them in urban lifestyles?
I think, in fact, the government, one of the fundamental aims is to preserve our culture and civilizational history. The word used often, and you can see it's just not a word being used. A lot of work is happening, Vikas bhi, Virasat bhi. So a lot of work is happening. In fact, in the inaugural session, Raghav ji and the other guests of honor elaborated extensively. I think the Bhopal Literature Festival itself, is a big example of how work is happening to preserve culture and history here.
Thank you. Next question.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Atman Tiwari from Sagar Public School, Saket Nagar. Sir, my question is actually related to a previous conversation. Sir, definitely the talent of India should stay in India if they can help it. The students, the college students, etc. But sir, there are some instances where people move abroad due to better scholarships and opportunities. So do you think that something is missing over here? Maybe scholarships or opportunities for students after they clear certain exams?
Got it.
No, it's a great question. In fact, I myself studied in the US. I was at MIT, but I came back. What I am not too personally concerned about this, because this is a diffusion of talent. Because of our large population, our highly skilled labor force, this is a natural tendency of certain talent to diffuse to other countries. In fact, they become great brand ambassadors. I don't think there is anything to do. This all happens through a natural process. I, in fact, have a lot of friends in my age group after spending 10, 20 years in the US. They are moving back to India. One doesn't need schemes. If there are
The
opportunities.
issue is people who are moving unproven talent, even if it is from IIT, IIMs, moving is one issue. There is another segment of proven Indian talent in India, doing well in India, not getting adequate support thereof. Recognized. Somebody's got a technical award. Like I told you some examples. They've done well in India. And yet, after they retire, in some cases, like this example of Dr. Anil Kokade, chairman of the Indian Atomic Energy Commission, Commodore Paul Raj, getting the top telecom awards there after having invented and revolutionized sonar here. So the issue is retaining unknown people, getting them scholarships and all is one problem. Where the talent is proven in India, even that we are not able to retain in some cases. That is the issue we want to. Sure. Yeah, next question, the gentleman. Who's got the mic? Yeah, the lady's got the mic. After that, the mic goes to the gentleman in the yellow shirt.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Akriti and I am from the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. So as you said, Mr. Honorable Prime Minister has a holistic vision of development and your book also discuss about it. But population, that is the biggest obstacle in the way of development, has never been in discussion and there are no strict rules regarding population control. So I want to ask, does your book talk about how population of 1.46 billion affect the goal of Viksit Bharat?
You know, it's an interesting question. First of all, you know, in our democratic setup, you know, a lot of people ask, should I digress slightly? You know, a lot of people do this China comparison. But, you know, you have to have an apple-to-apple comparison. It's a totally different, you know, communist dictatorial regime. Many things can be just, you know, ordered and it happens. So in our democratic setup, you know, one cannot delve into such things. At best, one could incentivize it, but there are a lot of friction points there as well. So that one must, you know, understand. Also, I want to tell that, you know, with this China, sorry, what was your question again on the?
How the population of 1.46 billion and Viksit Bharat, how would you reconcile them?
I got mixed up. So in a section of the book, and I urge you to read that, I have in 2 pages tried to explain the mathematics of what I am saying is a $30+ trillion economy projected to be in 2047. It's instructional for students because in a very simple manner, in 2 different types of back of the envelope calculations, I have tried to show you what is the growth rate, what is the compounded average growth rate, all of that. So it shows you that our expectation of getting there is fairly reasonable. It's like a T20 cricket match where the expected run rate to win is very reasonable. Secondly, in that, I have also extrapolated 2 things. One is where the US dollar will be, because we are talking in dollar terms. Second is population, because a per capita income definition of a developed country, it is the economy size divided by the population. So most reports will show you, and I've cited it, that after a while, you know, we are going to start slowing down naturally. There are a number of reasons, I won't go deep into it. And the projected size of the population in 2047 is not very much larger than where we are today. So that's just giving you an overall picture.
Done. Last question of the day, lady, gentleman with the yellow t-shirt.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम श्रीपाद कुंडले. पहले मैं बताना चाहूँगा, आप जो साइंटिस्ट का नाम ले रहे हैं उनका नाम है अनिल काकोडकर. अनिल काकोदे नहीं है, इनका नाम अनिल काकोडकर है. मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है सर कि विकसित भारत के लिए विकसित राज्यों का होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. और जो राज्यों में, प्रत्येक राज्य में देश के आजकल जो फ्रीबीज की एक बहुत बड़ा चलन चल पड़ा है, तो उसके कारण राज्यों की इकोनॉमी में डेवलपमेंट के लिए बिल्कुल फंड्स नहीं हैं. तो क्या आपने इस विषय पे ध्यान दिया है कि जब आपके पास फंड्स ही नहीं होंगे, इन एंटिसिपेशन ऑफ अर्निंग द वोट्स, आप तरह तरह की योजनाएं निकाल रहे हैं और आपके लिए विकास के लिए फंड नहीं है एक तरफ, दूसरी तरफ इन फ्रीबीज योजनाओं के कारण ये हो रहा है कि हम देखते हैं कि हमें बहुत गहन स्तर पर लेबर शॉर्टेज भी हो रही है. यदि आप घर का कोई भी आप काम कराना चाहते हैं छोटा मोटा, आपको बहुत मुश्किल हो रही है. तो मैं खास तौर देना चाहूँगा, मैं आपका पूछना चाहूँगा आपसे कि जो फंड्स हैं इन फ्रीबीज के कारण जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के पास नहीं होंगे, टू सम एक्सटेंट विद द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, हाउ वी कैन डेवलप ए नेशन विदाउट स्ट्रॉन्ग फंडिंग.
देखिए, ये आपने जो कहा है महत्वपूर्ण है. इनफैक्ट आई हैव मेंशन्ड दिस इन द बुक about this, you know, freebies in a sense. So this has to be, you know, rationalized. It can't go on. We've seen examples of many states, you know, who've literally bankrupted the state coffers within a year or 2 of assuming power. That is one issue. Second is that, the federal structure of our government in India, unfortunately, however it is structured, unfortunately is not the right word. This is how it is structured, is that many powers are at the state level. And you can't help it, There's a famous saying, the government you elect is the government you get. So that is something that I think voters have to be more aware of, who they are voting for, what are the long-term plans beyond, the short-term freebies. So I would think that in, again, our democratic system, even the voters, like I was mentioning, government needs to plan for the long term, not short term. We as voters also need to think for the long term, for our children's future, our children's children's future, and vote accordingly, sensibly. Today we all have information available, in our hands. Earlier it was with Google, now with ChatGPT, etc. We have a lot of information. So it is again how we choose to vote, and how do we think about this. But in one of the challenges I highlight in the book about getting to 2047, I have also said about income and regional disparities. For sure, we are seeing many states lagging behind. Some is by mismanagement, again some is by design, for political reasons to oppose central government, etc. And in fact, there is a good paper, I direct a lot of you, again, you all are students, to a lot of papers that are published from the Economic Advisory Council to Honorable Prime Minister, EAC to PM. And there are many papers on this subject written by Dr. Shamika Ravi. She is one of the members. And a lot of these things you'll find very interesting with a lot of data evidence, which will help answer these questions.
Thank you, Aditya ji. I'm sorry the time is long up. I can see your hand since long, but you'll have to meet him outside. He'll be available for all the balanced questions. Thank you, dear audience. It's been a wonderful session with your cooperation. It beholds me now to hand over back to our anchors.
Thank you for answering them, Mr. Pitti and Brigadier Agarwal. I would request Mr. Abhilash Khandekar, who's perhaps stepped out for a moment. Can I request Mr. Raghav Chandra to felicitate our speaker, author, and discussant. Mr. Ashok Lavasa and Mr. Abhilash Khandekar, request you both to be on the stage to felicitate Mr. Aditya Pitti and Brigadier Sanjay Agarwal. Very well. This is the BLF memento of 2026. A very insightful session indeed. And kudos to the audience for coming up with these very incisive questions.
Remember, this is the first session of the entire fest, and we've got 55 sessions going. Things will only improve.
Well begun is half done, they say. Thank you, gentlemen.